Hey guys, it's Kalai here. Today I will be installing some new rear shock absorbers on my 1994 Ford Ranger. So I just wanted to show you some of the simple hand tools you might need to replace your rear shock absorbers. Torque wrench, new part obviously. I have some medium thread locker here. I just bought this new Hyper Tough Impact and I just want to see what it feels like. But if you guys want to try something else, you guys can always grab a couple 18 mils and get a ratchet and, you know, good old breaker bar and see how that works. It shouldn't be on there too tight. I just really want to try out my new tool. But before I can use my new tools, you need to go and inspect the area. And I already was inspecting the area, and then I came over here to see my leaf spring. As you can see, the bolt goes in on one side right there and doesn't pop out the other side. So that means somewhere in here it's snapped and broken. So before I can drive this on the road, I have to get myself a new shank, a new bolt, new everything, and install that guy. Which I'll be doing not in this video, but in a future video as a quick fix. And on the other side, it's perfectly fine, but you just want to check out the whole general area, look around, see if anything's wrong. My diff looks a little wet. It might be leaking a little diff fluid, but I don't smell it, and obviously there's no drops on the ground. But if you look at my shock right here, really old, and I'll show you guys how to quickly replace it. So I put that wrench on the back of the bolt there, and then the nut is still currently in my impact. And I just want to say this thing worked great, worked beautiful. I wish that would focus a little bit. Doesn't matter. And then what you want to do is you want to tap this guy through. I won't be able to do it at this angle here. And then you want to push up on that guy, which I'll be there in a bit. Before you can push up on that guy, you got to come up here though and take that bolt off. And once you take that bolt off, that should easily fall out, and this whole assembly should slide right up that way. And example, my hand's pushing on the back here, and it'll come out that way. And just know it's extremely dirty here. Like, I would not recommend getting crud here, like, at all. Like, there's so much. Like, my safety glasses, I've had to clean them like 3 times already. There's just dirt everywhere back here. It doesn't look like a lot, but when I tap this, like, dirt is just crumbling down a little bit. Now that I got this side up here removed, now I gotta go to the other side over here. It's right in front though, if you can see that. It's the straight up and guide nut. So I gotta go in front of this wheel right here and remove this guy. Now that I have this guy removed and it connects right up there on that black guy up there, we're going to go in the back, and then we're going to make sure the tools and the parts all look the same, and we'll do that just to be safe before we reinstall everything. Now that I have all the tools back here, you can tell these two are very different, and these two are the same. Now, I can't tell you which one's older. Like, that one has a pretty good rust gash in it. That one also. This was on the side with the broken bolt on it, so I don't know if, like, I'm thinking maybe that side broke and it broke this shock absorber, or maybe that's like the only thing I can think of is like that side completely collapsed and broke, and it just made them replace the shock absorber here. Because if you notice, this one has a lot of gashes on it, like right there. I have no idea what it's caused for. Like, make sure you inspect your stuff. These guys are like a little bit longer than the new guy if you look, but they're also overextended. And I'm going to do quickly the test that I did on the last guys, where you push it all the way down, and if you notice, it's like warped. It's like hugging one of the sides when I push down. And this guy, he's extending, and while he's extending, let's put him back up here, and he's really slow at the bottom range. So let's try this blue guy. Push it all the way down. Ooh, that was disgusting sounding. I wonder if the camera even picked that up. It's extending really slowly, but I'm going to pull that out real quick, see if I can get that better recorded, because that sounded really gross. Just, there's like a dead spot right here where it's just like pure air. So this must be like a 2-stage shock absorber, which that's good. I just want to see if I can make that sound again. It just sounded like pure rust on rust. Let me just... Yeah, right there. Okay, it's not too terribly bad. And then while we're back here, you want to grab these guys and do the same thing. And remember, you want to pump it all the way down until it's fully come up, and then you want to release it and let it go all the way back out, and that's one cycle. And you want to cycle both of these guys before you install them 6 times before you reinstall them, because it lubes up the inside. Because these can sit on the shelf for years. Actually, when I first got mine, I wonder if I can find it. They were squunched up, and there was like a little bit of like corrosion that can only happen if it sits for a very long time. And I must have cleaned it up. I wasn't thinking about that. But these can sit for years, so what you want to do is you want to hydrate them or lubricate them by just squeezing them all the way closed and then letting them back out again. Just in case you guys are new to using thread locker, what you want to do, you want to grab your bolt, you see the threads, and then what you'll do is you'll open up your thread locker bottle. But I don't want to waste any of this stuff because I'm a little bit low myself. And just the top of the threads, do a little thin strip all the way down, and then you would just grab your nut, which I don't currently have, and you just screw it all the way up, and then you would torque it. Now, you get like, don't you know, put thread locker on all the bolts and all the threads right away. What you want to do is go to the bolt, not the shank. This shit's right here, the shank. You go to the threads, thread locker just the top, and then, because you don't want to drip it on the ground, you don't want to drip it on you. And then right after you do that, just do the nut. Then you put the nut on. You don't want to do all the threads all at once. You want to do one at each time. And before you go to the next one to put the next nut on, you want to torque it down, which I'm going to show you guys right now. Hey guys, now that we're in the back, what I recommend is you install that top guy. Don't torque it down, don't thread locker it. Just get it in that position and put at least like it until it's kind of flush over there. Basically, don't put on too few of threads so it doesn't rip threads off. And then come down here, and if you look, let's see if we can get a good view. It's just kind of hard with the camera. If you look, there's a little hole where my finger fits through, and see how it has this rounded lip right here? What you want to do is you want to rest it up here, and then I grabbed a little tool, this little guy, and I put it on top, and I used it to guide it down because it's such a tight, snug fit to get it to fit in there, if that makes sense. It was so tight I couldn't go straight on there, so I had to start up here, and I was trying to hammer it, but I couldn't get a good enough angle. And then what I did is, since I got it to pop in up top up here, and then I slid this through the back, and I started pushing down on it until I got a bolt to be able to fit through it. And that's how I recommend you do this side. And since this is just hanging here, I'd recommend going up top where I was just at with that guy. Torque him, it's between 39 to 53 foot-pounds, and since it gives you a range, you just go in the middle, and if we just quickly do the math, it's 46. Alrighty guys, I got the bottom and I got the top torqued to 46 foot-pounds. Just remember that since that's a two-part, that's an actual bolt, it's not in the frame, you gotta put a wrench on one side and your torque wrench on the other. I got my thread lock on there, and let's move to the other side. And look at that, it's installed. Remember, it's at 46 foot-pounds. And it's super easy to install these guys. It's literally just 2 bolts on this side, 2 bolts on the other side, and then you gotta torque them down. And guys, it really is just that easy to get rid of these really old shock absorbers right here and install them yourself. And all the shock absorbers, all they cost me was 72 bucks. I went on Amazon, I bought them. And just an FYI, see how these two are 2 different ones? You don't want that. I just didn't notice that when I bought the truck from the last guy. He had 2 different shock absorbers. And you can't really blame me. Look how dirty they are. You can barely see anything on them. And that's the end of this video, guys. You guys have a good one. Peace.